There's an update for residents in Pinewood Gardens as the government addresses a vexing problem which has plagued the community for years. On Thursday, a special meeting was held to address the way forward for the lingering issue of flooding. Here's LaDawn Davis.
An ineffective drainage system is an old-age problem that has become a major challenge for residents in Pinewood Gardens. Nearly 3 years ago, residents were faced with severe flooding and had to not only evacuate homes but discard furniture and other water-damaged interior. Area Member of Parliament Kaylis Rowe says the estimated cost for a new and improved drainage system was pegged at a whopping $60 million, but the government will negotiate a lower cost. He later gave details of a meeting to discuss drainage upgrades between Ministry of Works officials and consultants on Thursday.
We finally submitted the final package to Ministry of Works, which will include the estimate on costing and the phases by which we would undertake this program. It's going to be done over 4 phases. The next step for us is to just get the funds allocated, well approved, and distributed to Ministry of Works. Then the project will go out to tender, and hopefully that's a very short process.
Rowe says all parties involved are deeply concerned about the impacts flooding has had in this area. He said another major discovery was made at that meeting.
One of the discussions we had today when we were going through the research and the study that was done was that when Charles Sanders Highway was constructed, that made the problem 10 times worse than it used to be, because you now have an elevation that is 6 feet above sea level. So whenever there's a major flood, Charles Sanders Highway creates a dam.
Additionally, he says those tenders to bid will be sent out to employ qualified Bahamians.
That it will be open, and I think government is going to fund this, so not go into the IDB there or any of those entities. There won't be a requirement to have the tender done internationally.
Rowe says he is hopeful that the system will be installed by the summer. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Motorists driving along the streets of New Providence have been complaining for a while now about the many potholes, some of them so big that they could cause a major problem with your vehicle. The nagging potholes are still a problem even after the previous administration pumped millions into the road improvement project. State Minister for Works Arnold Forbes says some roads were neglected, but this is being addressed.
There was concentration on certain roads, while other roads were left to their own devices, basically. What we want to do is we want to put in place a comprehensive solution to the state of our roads throughout the entire Bahamas. Not only Nassau, but Andros. There are roads in Crooked Island that we are getting ready to repair, which are in a bad state, and we realize that, and we're going to take this one step at a time, but we want to do something that's lasting. We don't want to just put a stopgap measure in place for a problem that will recur probably 6-10 months down the road. We want to ensure that those roads last. Roads should be lasting 10 to 20 years.
Now, Forbes says moving forward, various teams will be assigned to maintain and manage roadworks.
We realize that the roads are bad in our country, and we need to really address this in a very, not only swiftly, but a decisive way. So you will find that, let's say we split it into 6 sectors. There will be someone responsible for each of those sectors. When there's a report of potholes, whatever else in the roads, we will send those people out as quickly as possible who are operating that sector to repair the roads and repair those potholes.
As the government places more focus on developing the country's agricultural sector, Bahamians most recently approved for farmland leases signed their agreements during a press conference today. Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable V. Alfred Gray, says although farming is carried out on all islands, 36,148 acres between New Providence, Grand Bahama, Andros, and Abaco have been designated as leased land for agriculture. He says while government is focused on improving food security, officials will no longer tolerate people using land leased for farming for other purposes. It's a matter taken to the court 3 times last year.
They inappropriately used the land granted for farming for building apartments, cathedral churches, everything else other than for agriculture. That could not go on without challenge. And it was my decision that we should challenge some of these people in the courts, and we've successfully defended our agricultural lands.
Now, Minister Gray says in some instances the governments negotiated how the buildings would be taken down or the land sold. He congratulated the group approved for land leases, and some of them shared how they'd be using their parcels.
I am interested in growing native fruit trees because I find that in a lot of the subdivisions we've cleared the land, removed native trees, and we need to encourage the growth of native trees and native fruit trees.
In 2007, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I did a lot of studies and research on plants that are indigenous to the Bahamas that will have more medicinal effects for cancer. And so I decided I'll just apply for land and grow those type of plants.